Hello everybody, how y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. I have a little special visitor here. Yeah, that's her. Y'all know who she is. Those of you who've been following me for a while, I know she's so pretty. She's such a pretty girl. Yes, she is. She's so pretty. So anyway, I thought I would jump up on here and give you all a little bit of a Mayo update. We are I think now we're set ready to go. I keep getting messages in for paperwork to fill out and all this sort of stuff. But today was the start of pretty much everything as far as appointments are concerned. With just a phone consult. So, and that really helped, even though it's just, getting information, finding out medications, things like that. It did kind of help put me at ease a little bit. I've been a little bit nervous, a little tense about it, mostly because of what I have dealt with, with medical facilities and everything. But she was very patient and answered all my questions. She did, ask. I was a little surprised. She asked me, as far as the housing situation was concerned, or whatever. I told her I was planning on just driving, but I have had a little bit of concerns here recently with finding out about some updated information about the one test that's going to be happening. So, but she provided me with information for as far as like hotels and so forth that work with the Mayo Clinic, so we can be seen, and have someplace cheap, basically, to stay. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's and I gave them a call. And they sent me lists and so forth, and some of them are actually free. So I figure, okay, I can get them a call, and I'll think on it and everything. I'm just a little foggy right now, as you can tell with my talking, primarily because of the weather that we've had going through since yesterday. It's been it's dropped temperatures pretty darn good down into the 40s for daytime highs. Nighttime lows are down around freezing. So we are supposed to be rebounding a little bit later on in the week, but still. So anywho, we're pretty much set ready to go, I hope now, with everything with Mayo, with my appointment on Monday. Yeah, and I had Angie was off yesterday, so her and I talked quite a bit. Angie, she's my friend who's been letting me stay here while going through everything, for those of you who don't know. So, anywho, yeah, I've got a little bit of a headache up here. But anyway, yeah, we did a lot of talking yesterday, and expressed my concerns, wondering, oh, shoot, am I wasting my time? This and that and everything. And it's like she had reminded me that this isn't like your normal regular doctors. These people are researchers, so they're going to be more likely to be thinking outside the box and so forth. And that's my concern. So. Yeah, because let's face it, I've been through the ringer with a lot of things. I know. But anywho, but they did warn, the person who I spoke with did warn me that there's a lot of construction work that's going on down there. So she basically guided me as to where I need to go in and everything. So, figure about 2 hours. just to be on the safe side. Yeah, it's only about an hour and a half drive down there, but she said there's a lot of construction work going on downtown Rochester, so give myself an extra half hour. So, but anyway, yeah, we are set, ready to go, and Angie is aware that I might be having to stay a night or two down there, just to be on the safe side, especially when it comes to Miss Itchy here. Little Miss Priss. So she might have to live without her mommy again for a night or two. We'll see. Everything is good to go with the car. I just had to do this week's payment, and I also, as far as my glucometer sensor is concerned, I tried putting in a refill for that, but unfortunately it was too soon. I called the pharmacy to ask them when I would be able to submit that or whatever, and Saturday, and they said they'll automatically do it, so I don't have to do anything. So it's like, okay. I explained to her, the pharmacist, I explained to her the circumstances as to why I'm putting it in, and she's like, okay, yeah, I understand. So, yeah. And I've got copies of all the paperwork from all my previous medical records, at least with the two specialists, the pulmonologists that I had seen. It's just going to be a matter of the stuff from my old primary, and they were able to gain access to my current primary. But they need those records from my previous primary, because that was the one who had did the bulk of my treatments. So, but yeah, and that was anyway. And speaking of Vegas, I've made my decision that I'm gonna go back. Most definitely. Angie and I talked about that as well yesterday. It's like I told her, I know I have to go back at least for a short period amount of time. I did tell her the other place that I'm considering, but I haven't made any decisions as far as that is concerned. I would want to check things out first. I mean, I have been through social media, but you know how it is with social media. It's everybody always paints a pretty picture. Nobody wants to hear about the dark sides of things. Isn't that right? Yeah. She's looking at me like, yeah, I know. So, but of course, I expressed my concerns about this one because I know she's grown quite partial to squirrely squirrels. She's had a lot of fun watching them, and I know she'll miss them, but I know she'll enjoy seeing her lizards again, too. You missing your lizards? Yeah? Do you? Do you miss seeing your lizards? Or do you enjoy watching the squirrely squirrels more? Yeah, I know you're paying a little bit more attention to the dog downstairs. His name is Newton, by the way. He's a golden. So, but don't worry, he's not going to come up here and get you. So, and I told her that before I go out, I very much would like to be able to buy a car, and drive out there, because I've acquired a little bit of stuff, and I don't want to give it up. So, it's like, yeah, well, we will see about getting a car and everything and go out there. So, anywho, yeah, that's kind of where we are at right now. I'm actually excited about going back home to Vegas. It's just going to be a question of when. Of course, everything right now is contingent upon everything with the medical. And she's aware of, the physical therapy. Of course, that's going to depend on the pulmonologist with what she has to say when I have that follow-up appointment after next week with everything. And I also let her know. Her and actually Rick was the one who brought it up. Rick is her husband. He had brought it up, the fact that her and their daughter might still be doing a trip down to her parents for with Thanksgiving. They don't want to take Sean, their son. They thought about maybe doing a family trip, but they had concerns with their son. He's autistic, and they don't want to be taking him out of school any more than necessary. So, in the meantime, so it would just be the two of them, and the other two, of course, would be staying. And Rick had brought that up to me the other day, and I'm like, well, don't worry, I'll be making Thanksgiving dinner. I was actually going to see about talking to you all about that. He's like, oh no, you don't have to do it. I'm like, I'm doing it anyway. So you might as well be participating. So, but yeah. And I let Angie know that if, well, Megan, she got an interview. She had that on Sunday. We're just waiting to hear back to see if the outcome with that. And if she has a job, then most likely they won't be making that trip down there. And if that's the case, either way, I let Angie know. Either way, I'm making Thanksgiving dinner this year. So, and she's like, okay, well, I'll make pie. I'm like, well, that's fine. Just make sure it's ahead of time, because Thanksgiving Day, kitchen's mine. And those of you who have been following me for a while know how I am with Thanksgiving. So, and I told him, I'm like, I'd really love to make some my grandfather's baked beans this year. That would be awesome if I could do that. And I'm just trying to decide on the what do you call it? The dessert, as far as, because I'm not a big fan of pie. So, ugh, not even pumpkin pie. So, I'm just not a fan of it. So I might see about doing sweetheart salad, and he's like, well, we'll help you out, financially, as far as, that is concerned. I'm like, that sounds good. So I'm going to need it. So, anywho, yeah, we're set, ready to go, and they know I'm going to be here for Christmas, too. So, it's just a matter of helping to get me through the winter, with everything. Not just with not knowing how to really, it's going to be a bit of a learning curve with learning how to drive in these conditions, but also everything with all of this, too. And at the same time, being able to maybe buy a car. So put money away to buy a car, and also have money to do the move. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with everything. So, anywho, yeah, I'm excited with everything that's coming up. A little anxious, yes, but I'm also excited about everything. My project that I'm working on, I got back to working on it yesterday. I'm not quite ready to discuss it just yet, so, but I am working on that. I got back to that yesterday. And we talked a little bit about, things with Mario and so forth, and everything. And I'll admit he's part of the reason why I have to go back. I've got to, there's quite a few things that I need to see about settling. So, and he's part of it. So, 17 years, having a friend like that for that long, it's nothing to shake a stick at, And then, 6 of those years we were together, in a relationship. So it's a little bit deeper than just friendship, or even just casual friends. And I do miss him. So. And I wouldn't mind going to that place where the ashes were all scattered, as far as my mom and my babies were concerned. seeing that and everything. So I know she's at peace. She has been. They all have been. But anyhow, all right, I need to go eat and get myself back to work and everything. So I'll talk at you later. I love you guys. Love you.